Hi, my name is Jessica Castellano. Today I did my presentation on the movie Easy A. A couple fun facts, other than it being my favorite movie, is that Easy A came out in 2010. It was written by Burt Royal and directed by Will Gluck. Some of the actors include Emma Stone, who plays Olive Pendergast, Penn Badgley, who plays Todd, Amanda Bynes, who plays Mary Ann, and Ali Michalka, who plays Rion. A summary or some fun facts are it's based off the book The Scarlet Letter. It takes place in high school, and the story revolves around Olive or Emma Stone. And I have a summary of the movie. Easy A is a modern take on the classic book The Scarlet Letter, written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. In this movie, Olive Pendergast is a high school teenager who is hardly noticed. One day, her best friend, Rion, asks her to go camping with her family, and without insulting her family life, Olive makes an excuse that she has a date in order to get out of camping. Olive agrees that Rion returns and assumes that Olive had slept with her date, and in order to avoid a fight, Olive agrees, and little did they know, Mary Ann, who was a very religious girl, had overheard them and spread a rumor around. Embracing her newfound notorious fame, Olive begins to dress more provocatively and embroiders a scarlet A on her clothing. Although Olive remains a decent, pure woman, she begins to allow people to spread rumors about her, receiving gift cards or other forms of payment in return. As she manipulates her fake reputation, she finds out that not everyone knows it's an act. Some people actually try to take advantage of her, and she realizes the mess she has made. With the struggle of her notorious fame and meeting a boy she sincerely has feelings for, Olive finds herself wanting to clear her name and exploit the truth behind her story. So that was a little summary. I will now be talking about the two theories that I will be discussing. The first one is reflected appraisal theory. And this is a theory that states that the self a person presents is a large part based on what others categorize the individual, the roles they expect him or her to play, and the behaviors or traits they expect him or her to exhibit. And the second one is cost-benefit theory, a theory that states that we work to sustain relationships that give us the great total benefit, and that a relationship will be sustained only as long as perceived benefits outweigh emotional expenditures, also known as exchange theory. Social exchange theory, sorry. There's also three different concepts I'll be talking about. The first one is self-concept, the second one is stereotypes, and the third one is gender. So I'm going to talk about a couple relationships that Olive has with her friends and classmates and blah blah. And yeah, so the first one is Olive's relationship with Rion. Rion is Olive's best friend, but she feels as if she's more popular than Olive, so her social status is not threatened by her. Kind of like when girls hang out in groups and they have the ugly friend who makes them feel prettier. Like, it's not a good foundation of friendship, but people still do it, kind of thing. And Rion is kind of a good friend, but she thinks she's better than Olive, essentially. So later, Olive begins to draw more attention than her, and Rion feels threatened, so she ends the friendship. And this is kind of cost-benefit theory. She believes that she's not benefiting from this relationship anymore because Olive is taking her popularity away. And in this case, Rion saw her relationship as very competitive with Olive, and in the case of competitiveness, we try to protect ourselves when communicating with one another, and her way of protecting was to end the friendship so that she didn't feel threatened anymore. The second relationship I will be discussing is Olive's relationship with Brandon. And Brandon is Olive's gay friend who is trying to beat the gay stereotype he has been given, although in reality he is actually gay. But he's getting bullied a lot for being gay, and he actually gets in a fight and ends up in detention with Olive. And in order to avoid further confrontation, Brandon convinces Olive to lie about sleeping with him in order to subdue the rumors. And it wouldn't just work if she said it, so they made it a very public fake hookup, and this kind of led to a downward spiral for Olive later, but we'll find that out later. But stereotypes lead us to categorize others on the basis of easily recognized but not necessarily significant qualities Brandon was trying to beat, and because of Brandon's stereotype, he led Olive down a negative path that would have many consequences towards her self-esteem. Now I'm going to go over Olive's relationship with her classmates and counselor. This part is mostly about her classmates. When Olive's reputation has become infamous, she responds by embroidering a scarlet A on her chest, and this has to do with reflected appraisal theory. And in other words, we build self-concepts that reflect how we think others see us. We use the views that others develop, our view of ourselves. So essentially, we view ourselves how the world views us, almost like metaphorically the looking glass self. When we see a mirror and we're staring back at the reflection, we're not seeing us, but we're seeing how everyone else sees us. And in this case, Olive had these rumors spread about her that she was being promiscuous, and in order to go along with that, she embroiders an A for adultery on her clothing that is very provocative. With the counselor and stuff, Olive's self-concept had eventually made her believe that she had turned into this promiscuous girl, even though she really was very innocent. Like when she went on a date, the date tried to take advantage of her because he thought that she was kind of slutty, and she accepted that, but she at that point saw that it was wrong and that she had dug herself into a bigger hole. And again, we go with the Looking Glass Selves by Cooley, that we stare at the reflection of ourselves, that society, basically the definition of ourselves is defined by what society perceives us as. And at one point, Olive goes to the counselor who has cheated on her husband, and Olive, being Olive, tells her, I can fix the situation, like, I can take your place, I can say it was all me, everyone will believe because, quote unquote, I've been whoring around a lot. Which is actually really sad because she thinks that it's okay to just condemn her own reputation, and when in fact Olive has been this pure, innocent girl who's just been trashing her reputation. And the counselor responds, you haven't, because a whore couldn't admit that she was whoring around. And it's kind of sad, really, that whole situation. But I actually wanted to address, on a side note of the movie, the one thing that I did not appreciate, and it's definitely prevalent in society, is that there's a double standard associated with this movie and in life. There's a strict discrepancy between gender and reputations. Olive was labeled as a slut because of her reputation, but the men she was associated with had escalated in popularity. That's why they were paying her to do this stuff. They wanted to become popular. They wanted to not be the losers or whatever they were labeled in the first place. And Gamble and Gamble state that of significance it is the finding that our society values male characteristics more highly than female characteristics. And I think that that's really unfortunate, just in a societal manner, because that is a major double standard, and it definitely affects women's self-esteem more than it affects men. And I think that it should be more even. That should not just be that if girls sleep around, they're kind of slutty, and if guys sleep around, they're awesome. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily the best double standard. I think that that should be reprimanded as it is. And in conclusion, overall, Easy A teaches us many valuable lessons. How rumors can alter how we look at ourselves. Like the embroidered A, she became the person that everyone had rumored her to be. Even though she wasn't slutty, she was perceived as that, and so she went along with that persona. How stereotypes are damaging, and that's, again, prevalent with Brandon and his wanting to not be seen as gay, and causing basically the whole storyline of this movie. How gossip can hurt people. Olive's self-esteem, Olive's everything was hurt by gossip. And how gender has a double standard, which is what I just went over. But thank you for this I hope this presentation was good. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.